With several smartphone companies now entering the Indian market and several smartphones available around the 30,000 rupee price bracket, it's becoming increasingly difficult to choose your favorite one. With several new features and capabilities, the Honor View 10 is one such add-on in this price market, and we'll tell you if it's good or not in our review. My name is Bharat. You're watching iGyaan. Let's get started. Now, like I mentioned, the Honor View 10 comes right after the Honor 8 Pro, missing out on any 9 version of the phone to be launched in India. The View 10, which was launched on 5th December, made available in January for a price of 29,999. Now, it's a typical design that we've seen. It's got a solid aluminum unibody shell with the front glass. It is available in 3 colors, the gold, black and blue, and it has a 5.99-inch IPS LCD display. Now, the display is an 18:9 aspect ratio display, so it's a full screen front, which allows you to do a lot more with the device. But the company's also added some interesting features in the software and with the usage of the Kirin 970 chipset, which also has a neural processing unit. So build quality wise, the phone is quite robust, really solid, well made. It also has Gorilla Glass on the front, so it'll be protected from scratches through and through. Now, with the lack of any form of water resistance in this build, it is a slight bit of a letdown, but the device does have a water repellent nano coating, which allows the phone to survive in emergency situations. Now let's come back to the display. The display is a 5.99-inch 2160 by 1080 pixel display, which gives it a total of 403 pixels per inch. Again, it's not a 2K display, it's a full HD plus display with an 18:9 aspect ratio. The display is made up of an IPS LCD and it's perfectly clear indoors as well as outdoors with a good amount of brightness on it. It has great viewing angles, almost 180-degree field of view, and it's rather easy to use, highly responsive, and a good display in this price bracket with accurate colors. If we talk a little bit more about what's running the phone from the inside, we got the high silicon Kirin 970 chipset. Now this is an octa-core chipset with 4 cores at 2.4 GHz and 4 cores at 1.8 GHz. For graphics, you get the Mali G72 MP12 GPU, and the phone runs on 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage with expandability up to 256 GB using the micro SD card. The phone runs Android 8 Oreo out of the box with EMUI 8.0 on the top. And with the latest update, they offer some really interesting add-ons to the mix. So the phone does get face unlock, which works really well, and you do have the ability to turn on instant unlock in the way that the OnePlus 5T unlocks, or you do have the ability to slide to unlock in the way that the iPhone 10 unlocks. So you have both those options available. You also have smart notifications, again in the way that iOS 11 shows smart notifications on the iPhone 10, wherein which when you glance onto your device, the notifications open up. That only happens if you have the slide to unlock screen enabled. You also have features like smart rotate, so the phone will not rotate the screen if you sort of are lying down and looking at the device in a certain way. You also have other features that are typical of smartphone nowadays. So you do have App Twin, which allows you to duplicate applications. You also have the eye comfort settings, which allow you to sort of turn on the blue light filter. You also have the game suite, which allows you to customize your gaming experience, so you can turn off notifications. You can also lock the navigation keys in case you accidentally tend to press them while gaming and your game quits. You can disable this from the game suite as well. And then you also have things like one-handed navigation, several other navigation modes, including a gesture navigation mode. And you also have the knuckle screenshot capability and the knuckle gestures that allow you to sort of create a split window wherever you are. So all of these features work really well on the Honor View 10 and give you a lot more customizations than you can typically get with most smartphones. And these features with the new EMUI work really well. The phone is really fast, really responsive, and whether you're doing day-to-day applications, running through tasks, multitasking, or just playing games on the device, all of these things work really well. Now, because the 970 is a flagship chipset from Huawei, which has been used in this device, it manages to run all applications and games at full performance in high-end graphics, and the outcome is really good. Benchmark scores are also top-notch, and you'll get an overall really good performance experience from the View 10, allowing you to go about your day-to-day activities without worrying about lag. The cameras on the View 10 are also really interesting with the new software update. The rear camera, which is a 16 megapixel plus 20 megapixel setup, gets a few more functionalities. So you do get a smart zoom or an AI zoom, which allows you to zoom up to 2x without losing any kind of quality in your images. You also get enhancements into the wide aperture mode, and you also get standard QR code scanning. Again, features that we've seen on iOS in the standard camera app are now being added to Honor's UI. In the front camera, you also get the ability to change the background with the front camera, allowing you to create a bokeh and and then replace the background with your own backgrounds that the smartphone provides. And there's also AI photography, which was always there with the Honor View 10, allowing you to automatically detect the kind of scene it is. So the phone automatically detects if you're shooting a landscape or if you're clicking pictures of food, which then tweaks the settings accordingly of the image and saves it in the best possible format. Now you can disable this by going into a manual mode, but in the auto mode, AI photography is there, and in most cases we found that it works really well. Images overall come out really well, good amounts of contrast and saturation. We found a little bit of a problem in low light performance. Even though with wide aperture mode enabled, you still get a little bit of grain in extremely low light, which we've not seen in several other devices. So that is something that I am wary of, but the overall camera performance is pretty impressive, with the 4K video recording also coming out really well on this device. The front camera is a 13 megapixel camera, so you can get some really nice sharp selfies or front captures using this camera. It also has a pretty wide lens, so if you're clicking pictures of several people, you can manage to do that. Now the phone does have a fingerprint sensor placed right in the home button, which can also be used as a navigation button. So you can enable the fingerprint sensor, or you can enable face unlock, or you can have a standard pin unlock depending on how and why you'd want any of those things. Now phone call capability and battery life are also pretty impressive from the Honor View 10. We found that networks remain strong in most areas, and call quality was pretty impressive with good amounts of noise cancellation on both ends. We got clear sounds on the speaker, and the recipient of our phone calls got clear sounds from the microphone. So overall we are pretty impressed with the phone call capability, and we found networks remain strong in areas where we usually get strong networks. Call drops were at a minimum, but it is almost impossible now to detect which is responsible, the phone or the networks, for call drops, so we'll just leave it at that. For the battery, we get a 3750 mAh battery. You do get a quick charge capability, which is Honor's Supercharge, which allows you to charge up the device quickly with 5 volts and 4.5 amps, and then you can fully charge up your smartphone in less than an hour if you're not using it while charging. Now all in all, the Honor View 10 is a really complete phone for a really good price, allowing you capabilities and features that you would find in much higher end flagships. Honor is trying to sort of penetrate into this price bracket, and they seem to be doing it really well with the kind of prices that they're pushing for their smartphones. A really well built phone with good performance hardware on the inside and impressive cameras completes this phone up. It does tend to heat up in certain scenarios, and we found that low light performance is not as good from the camera, and those are the only two sort of letdowns. We also find that 4K recording is not as crisp, whereas 1080p at 60 frames per second turns out to be really good. Now for those of you who stuck out to the end, we are announcing a giveaway of 2 Honor View 10 devices, and we leave links in the description below on how to play in this giveaway. If you like this video, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan, which is growing day by day. And until I see you next time, guys, this has been Bharat. Have a great day.